There is a can sitting in millions of bathroom cabinets right now that professional detailers quietly removed from every published guide roughly a decade ago. It costs less than $2. It has been used by men every morning for over a century. And somewhere along the way, someone discovered it could transform a grimy fabric car seat. That discovery set off one of the strangest debates in the history of DIY car care. A debate where both sides are simultaneously right and wrong, where the same product has produced immaculate results and total interior disasters, sometimes in the same week, sometimes on the same model of car. The product is shaving foam, classic aerosol shaving foam. And the reason it was quietly buried by the detailing industry is not because it does not work. It is because the people who wrote the guides could not figure out how to explain the difference between using it correctly and using it catastrophically, so they simply stopped writing about it. The science behind why shaving foam can clean fabric at all begins with a class of molecules called surfactants, which is short for surface active agents. Every modern cleaning product, from dish soap to laundry detergent, is built around surfactants. But shaving foam uses a particularly durable variety, engineered specifically not to dissolve quickly in water. Each surfactant molecule has two ends with completely opposite properties. One end is attracted to water. The other end is repelled by water, but attracted to oil and grease. When shaving foam makes contact with a fabric fiber, those molecules orient themselves around whatever contamination is present: oil from skin, body grease, food residue, dirt particles. The oil-hating ends attach to the contamination, while the water-loving ends face outward, forming microscopic spheres called micelles that physically lift the dirt away from the fiber surface and suspend it in the foam. This is emulsification, the same fundamental chemistry that makes dish soap cut through the grease on a frying pan. The foam is simply a delivery vehicle for this chemistry in an unusually low-moisture format, and that low-moisture format turns out to be deeply relevant to car seats specifically. The case against shaving foam in automotive detailing is not a chemical argument. It is a practical one, and it became very public in the summer of 2023 when a woman from the United Kingdom posted photographs to the Our Cleaning Tips subreddit that circulated across Reddit, Facebook, and eventually ended up covered by Newsweek. She had seen the shaving foam hack on a Facebook group, applied it generously across her car seats, waited 30 minutes as the video had suggested, and then discovered that the foam had penetrated the porous fabric and refused to come out. What was left were large white patches that looked dramatically worse than the original staining. The reason this happened is embedded in the very engineering of shaving foam. Unlike a standard upholstery spray whose bubbles dissolve quickly in water and carry dirt away during rinsing, shaving foam bubbles are engineered for durability. They are designed to sit on a man's face for 10 minutes without running off or dissolving. When large quantities are applied to a car seat and left to dwell, those stable bubbles sink into the fabric structure, reach the foam padding beneath, and become effectively impossible to retrieve without a professional wet vacuum extraction machine. The surfactants that were supposed to carry dirt away end up trapped inside the seat with nowhere to go. What the Facebook group video had not explained, and what almost no online guide ever explained before removing shaving foam from the recommended list entirely, is that the method is everything. The chemistry works. The application method is what determines whether a seat comes out clean or destroyed. Detailers who quietly continued using shaving foam never stopped because it failed them. They stopped recommending it publicly because the method is too nuanced to survive a 15-second video. In practice, the difference between effective shaving foam seat cleaning and the disaster documented on Reddit comes down to quantity, timing, and contact area. The people who get results use an amount that looks almost embarrassingly small, applied to a cloth rather than directly to the seat. Work a section no larger than a sheet of paper at a time with light circular pressure and remove the foam within seconds rather than letting it dwell. The people who ruin their interiors coat the entire seat in a thick layer and walk away. Same product, completely opposite results. There is also a distinction within shaving products themselves that the viral content always ignores. Shaving GL, the transparent viscous variety, is an entirely different product from aerosol shaving foam. GEL contains conditioning agents, moisturizers, and synthetic compounds designed to cling to skin that are almost impossible to remove from porous fabric without extraction. GL applied to a car seat will leave residue that yellows over time and creates a surface that actively attracts new dirt, making the seat demonstrably worse in the weeks following cleaning. Classic white aerosol Faux AM, ideally unscented and dye-free, is the only format where the chemistry behaves predictably enough on fabric to produce consistent results. This distinction, barely a footnote in any of the viral content, is responsible for a significant portion of the failure cases reported across detailing forums. The detailing community has documented the limitations of shaving foam with similar care. Forums like AutoGeek Online and r/auto detailing consistently note that shaving foam performs well on surface-level contamination, the everyday accumulation of body oils, light food staining, fabric discoloration from clothing dye transfer, and fresh spills that have been partially blotted. What it cannot reach is contamination that is saturated through the fabric into the foam padding beneath the seat. Biological staining, pet contamination, liquid spills that soaked through years ago, smoke odor embedded in the seat structure. These require commercial-grade extraction equipment operating at temperatures and pressures that no household product comes close to matching. Professional detailers use machines that pull moisture and dissolved contamination upward out of the seat rather than working it around on the surface. The foam method works at the surface. The surface is where most everyday grime lives, which is why it works for most everyday situations and fails for the exceptions. What the detailing industry effectively did by removing shaving foam from its official guides was make a quiet editorial decision that a product requiring precise application to succeed was better replaced by purpose-built upholstery sprays that were harder to misuse. That decision protected customers from ruined interiors. It also quietly buried a genuinely effective and extraordinarily cheap cleaning option for anyone who understood what they were doing. The irony is that when TikTok rediscovered shaving foam a decade later and made it go viral, the exact same misapplication problem that drove detailers to remove it from its guides played out again at massive scale, producing both glowing testimonials from people who happened to use small amounts on lightly soiled seats and horror stories from people who treated their entire interior like a carpet being prepped for a steam cleaning machine. The story of shaving foam and fabric car seats is ultimately a story about the gap between chemistry and context. The molecules work. The surfactants do exactly what surfactants are supposed to do. The foam structure, which seems like a gimmick, actually serves a genuine function by delivering cleaning chemistry with minimal moisture to a surface that cannot be rinsed. What the foam cannot do is compensate for being applied in the wrong quantity, to the wrong type of stain, with the wrong expectations about what a $2 product can realistically achieve. It was never a miracle. It was never a scam. It was a precise tool that got handed to people without instructions, went viral without context, and ended up in the same category as dozens of other cleaning shortcuts that work brilliantly in the right hands and catastrophically in the wrong ones. The guides removed it, the internet rediscovered it, the bathroom cabinet still has it, and the seats of 100 million cars are still waiting for someone to use it correctly.